Alexa, set timer for 20 minutes.
20 minutes, starting now.
Hello, fellow gamers. This is Rodrumba, and I'm back in the past and over with the future. I'm gonna make some memes while I'm doing this vlog, but currently I'm doing okay, and I am upgrading my graphics drivers to the latest version. Currently, I am exercising, went for a walk today, and went all the way down to La Roya station, basically. Walked down all the way to La Roya station from, all the way from Howard Station. I took a long walk. Mainly, I took a big, long walk going down to the parks, laying down at the beach, enjoying some time outside, getting some of that vitamin D, which I really needed. Currently, I am on new vitamins. I am currently on vitamin B12 and also some other vitamins like L-creatine, which I recently took, which I've been taking for about 3 days. I feel more energetic in a way, where I feel like I need to exercise for some reason and feel the burn, A lot of things been going on in my life, and I'm trying to lose weight as much as possible in a small amount of time, like within 8 weeks or so. I'm also gonna go on vacation soon, and walking for 30 minutes per day does help maintain your metabolism. I haven't went grocery shopping today on Thursday, but I did pay all my bills using my credit cards. Normally, I pay all my utility bills using my credit card because it actually increase your credit score, and secondly, I pay the balance in full every month, so I don't rack up debt. Pretty much you got to keep an eye on your debt and how much money you have in the bank. And normally, making money from working, trying to apply for jobs, it took me a while to get a job. It took me over 6 months to find employment, get a second chance in employment, and getting let go from Goodwill for early termination for something stupid like a joke can cause you to get fired from something like that. So don't say any inappropriate jokes, or don't go into a state of anxiety prone psychosis or something. Or I got overly excited and experiencing a tic from work because I was having a bad day, and mainly I got fired for it, which was my fault, but it was something homophobic which caused me to get fired. But yeah, but I'm still working at the new store, and it's been helping a lot with my mental illness and going outside, talking to people, even my coworkers and boss. My boss is kind of neat. I wouldn't have any complaints with my boss, Oscar, but he's a good employer, and I would recommend him, And also with other bosses, I have there's multiple managers at that place, the grocery store I work at. There's a good chance that they're kind, they help support people with disabilities and all that. And I've been hearing some rumors around work, which I can't say anything about it, but I was hearing voices, probably, or delusion, or someone got let go in my head, but I'm not sure. But it was a weird day at work on Wednesday. It was kind of weird in a way. I'm still managing medication as well, and taking medication every day does help with my schizophrenia and autism. And sometimes with autism, there's no medication for it, but there is medication for schizophrenia, which doesn't make any sense. I was given risperidone to help manage my anger, usually that's the case, or help manage my symptom of anxiety sometimes. I don't think it helps with my systems of angry outbursts and all that. And when I was living at my parents, there's a lot of things that I didn't like living there for 26 years. To be ashamed of myself staying at your parents for 26 years, like doing absolutely nothing but looking up YouTube tutorial how to make money, how to get well, how to manage depression. I didn't have any support system at the time to get me where I'm at today. I had troubles figuring out how to pay medical bills, and I had trouble with like how to take public transportation, which was one of them, which was a still struggle with today. But I managed to overcome those fears of going on public transportation and managing going into small stores with cramped spaces. Sometimes I get a little bit sketch out on which stores I go. I go to Pacific stores that I would go to. I would normally go to Aldi's every day or Jewel's, or like I was scared to go into Jewel's because of COVID, and the mask mandate fucking made me anxiety prone when wearing that mask. Like it really took a lot of stress for me to overcome those like anxiety triggers, you know, like it's to the point where you basically get better while you age, but sometimes you still have issues with a few things like coping, talking to people, or trying to tell people where stuff is at. Sometimes I get distracted, and it's pretty hard to communicate with people sometimes with me if I'm in an anxiety type state. Usually when I'm in an anxiety type state, I start pacing around the store. That's usually a cause of anxiety, and that's usually helps calm me down. And sometimes I usually count like the shelves and shit and remember the numbers from the barcodes. It helps with like managing systems of anxiety when you're working at a grocery store, or it can happen anywhere. Like sometimes people are sensitive to loud noises, like which one of the workplaces. Like sometimes with like managing your illness will help make you work better and prepare for like prepare to cope with like your emotions, you know. Like I've learned a lot about therapy, and usually I have to talk to a therapist and a psych doctor. And sometimes I don't get through my psych doctor on why I'm diagnosed with schizophrenia, which is an obvious reason. I could possibly be bipolar and not even know about it. Like even that one time when I was at the psych hospital, you could be bipolar or schizophrenic. It's either or one. You can't decide which diagnosis you could be. Like I'm just Mike, you know. Like you can't put a name on me because of my disability, you know. Like I have autism. Like I have Asperger's syndrome, which is a form of autism. And sometimes with those dual diagnoses, sometimes you think like, do you hear those annoying ghosts, or are the voices real, or are they a delusion? Like sometimes they distract me so much that it's ridiculous. Like feel like my apartment's haunted and shit. And sometimes when you hear the apartment, like my door would knock at 3 a.m. and I actually have video proof of it. I posted on my Facebook profile a long while ago. But I have to edit that video out for YouTube so it'd be less censored, you know. Like I was in my underwear walking in my living room to the kitchen, checking the doors, and no one was at the door. Like it's like this ghost is playing Ding Dong Dish on me or something. But usually I looked at the video and it was in fact a real knock. But I don't know why he does that. Ghost does that, but he doesn't speak back or anything. And sometimes like my neighbor caught me in my underwear. Like it was weird. Like he was peeking through my window and shit. I was just like weird neighbors. I don't know. Like I was having anxiety or paranoia at the time last night, and wasn't alright. But I closed all the windows and installed my AC this month, which you could hear in the background. I wish I had a better audio equipment, better webcam for my computer, and I have the money to do that. But if my sister would give me like money to buy a new webcam that costs more, like I would get that. But sometimes I gotta save money for this stupid pretend house I have to get for the near future. But I can't decide if I want to quit my job next year or move to a different state or stay in Belvedere or where the heck I'm moving to. Like, I don't know where I'm gonna move to. I have no plan for the future at this point. I cannot make up my mind. I tend to overthink things and overthink how do I move my fish? How am I gonna take a 55-gallon tank, move it all the way across town to get your fish tank set up at the new place and move out at the same time? It's a lot of struggle with moving to new places, and sometimes I have that. The first thing I'm gonna do is take the fish tank, move to the next town, fill it up, make sure there's utilities that are running, or have a battery power air pump. I have to prepare items to make the move. And sometimes with with moving is stressful. And I had a stressful time living at my brother's house when my sister moved in all my stuff into Shane's garage, and I had an anxiety outburst, and I was having fear of my fish Doug being transported or being abused by my mother, because I was having those delusions or thoughts, or what my mother could possibly put dish soap in my fish tank, or like I saw it was bubbling with a lot of bubbles and shit, and I was like, what the fuck happened to my tank? Like, I'm having an anxiety attack, and it couldn't go away for like the past few days. I kept repeating the same sentence over and over, and I was just, is Doug alright? Is Doug alright? Or something like that. And sometimes those anxiety outbursts couldn't go away. Like, I had to seek help, and I was like, I felt suicidal at one point, having thoughts of suicide or self-harm, which wasn't okay for me at the time. And when you get on that marijuana, it makes it worse. It causes suicidal ideation for me for some reason. Some people it's different. It helps calm down anxiety. But for me, it didn't calm down my anxiety at all. It just made me have a panic attack, and it just made me hear voices of dead people, like my aunt or my mom. And sometimes my mom's voice will be at the driveway at the parking lot going at my sister's house. I was having those fucking delusions, and weed fucking does a shitload of things to you. Like, that THC in your weed is bad. Like, CNC is better, but if you take THC and have a high dose of that, you start seeing some fucking vivid shit. Like, I had a stick figure in the window at the psych ward. It was moving like kind of like the desert and shit, or the rocks. Dude, they gave me some fucked up meds, dude. Like, the medication at Mercy Health, like, I don't know what the fuck they gave me. Like, I was fucking out of it, dude, tripping balls, and just like, and it wouldn't go away for about a week. And after a week, I felt empty inside and shit. That's how empty I went. It broke me basically, to the point where I couldn't like handle my emotions anymore. And I was just like, okay, like this, kind of like that. And it was just like a lot of fucked up shit after that, moving to Mercy Health, and I got a little bit better, but sometimes I said some fucked up shit there, and it just like I thought there was like people under 14 there, and it was just like reading the fucking brochure from the mental psych hospital. I'll give props to Northwestern Medical for helping me overcome my independence, and to the point where I needed someone to make decisions for me, and that screwed me up. Like, signing that contract at the ICF, like, that ruined my life. Like, it mentally scarred me, dude. It was terrible. And after that point in the life stream, like, sometimes you get to the point where you're stuck at that place for 16 months with no other choice to just be lazy and get fed like a baby and the fucking CNAs call you, oh, what the crybaby, and it's just not funny. I used to been called that at the fucking nursing home, and it wasn't fucking funny. Like I said, fuck you, I hate this place. Like, it was terrible, man. Like, the CNA treated you like garbage. Like, they weren't nice. They were too busy taking care of other mentally ill people who couldn't take care of themselves. It's basically a fucking adult daycare center, you know? Like, you leave your fucking, like, millennial kid at that place, they get their life fixed, and after they get their apartment, they might end up being back there again, you know? Like, after you get out of those places, you get tons of government benefits, like being a Williamson class member from Illinois. It's only an Illinois thing or a state thing. And usually, being a Williamson class member from the facility of being discharged, you still get benefits statewide, and you get transfer. Like, you can move city to city with support, still enable you to get government support from them, transfer from each place from the Department of Human Services. And this program is very rare for a few people because you have to be in a psych ward multiple times and been into a nursing home or ICF, intermediate care facility, for 16 months after graduating from that. And when you do get that diploma or graduation from out of the nursing home, you get your life back together from being almost critically mentally ill to back to normal. And it's a lot of benefits from it. You get a furnished apartment for free when you first move out, but you still have to move. You still have to pay for moving companies to move your stuff from and transfer your case management people to different company. You know, it's hard to get settled in another place, and it's a lot of benefits from that time of being mentally ill for 16 months and getting normal within the 6 month point. Being in psychosis and experience all that, you weren't the same person as you were before. You just improve your mind, and I'm actually back to normal. Like, I literally got my mind straight. Sometimes it unscrews itself, like it opens up my mind, you know, when I take medication and vitamins. I also learned a few things about marijuana. It helps prevent suicidal ideation, but it didn't for me. It did not. But some people it does. But sometimes it helps cope with depression. But I feel like those research studies, they gotta do more, because hardly no one smokes weed who were mentally ill, and sometimes it doesn't work on people with my disability. And I act the exact same like my brother Steve when he was on weed, and it's same with him. My brother Steve was in the Philippines. He doesn't do any YouTube videos of him doing shit at his farm, but he owns a farm there, makes tons of money, and he's getting his citizenship in the Philippines. And there's a lot of things you have to go through to get citizenship in the Philippines, and he wants me to visit him. Maybe next vacation I'll go there, but I have to get a passport, and I'm not paying $100 for a passport. I wish passports were actually free, but you have to pay for them to get registered, and you have to fill out all these complicated information like, where you born? Like, I don't remember where I was born, but I definitely know I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio, you know? Like, that's the only place I could think of where I was born, but I have to have a birth certificate. I don't know how to get the passport physically, and I have no criminal record, and I'm probably not going to be eligible for a gun license within 5 years until those medical records cleared out of the system. So even if I'm going to attempt to get a gun, I have to wait 5 to 10 years before I get one, before I decide to get one for like hunting practices or sport practices. You have to have a reason to own a gun, and you have to take gun safety courses to managed gun. You don't aim it at people, like, obviously. You you don't load it into a store, or you don't carry it into a store or a public transportation or something. I don't know how guns work. Like when I played VR, I played with guns and I actually loaded around. Like I had trouble loading the like shooting the gun because I didn't load the round in with the thing you pulled back, and I didn't know about that at the time. Like I had troubles like how do you shoot this thing? Like I had no way how to load a gun, and it's just like a virtual gun. Like they in VR, the guns are realistic, and some of the guns are kind of cool to play with. And like Onward, um, it's tons of fun playing VR. Like VR helped me where I am today. Since Echo VR is shutting down on August 1st, I don't know if I'm gonna play the last month, but I do want to play it again and experience the game again after a long awaited wait. But I have played it a couple times, but didn't have the same feel of the game anymore since all my friends who played VR with me all played different games now. But I still remember Lemming and Ducky. Ducky wasn't really nice to me. He was kind of a troll or something. I don't know. I had a lot of swearing, like outbursts or something. I act more vulgar towards people in VR or something. It's weird. Like I have to stop doing those habits now, but I have learned my lesson to just manage your systems of anxiety, try to avoid harassment and cheating or doing something like that in a game. But I have to learn how to be less aggressive in video games. Sometimes usually I get to the point where I get aggressive on mic, and that's usually because I have to mute myself. Like when I mute myself, it helps a lot. Like not let people know I was raging or something. Like no. But I did get a letter from Feeding America, and I actually gonna donate some money, about $30 worth per month. But I do donate $7 to Recare Act, usually because of I support people who lost their loved ones or something. Usually it's for my local company with Jules, but it's a lot of things. It's not my company; it's our company. But it's just a good place to work. It's really changed my life in the perspective of how to do retail. I still haven't got a cash register training yet, but I might go for it if I really want to switch departments. I usually be a bagger sometimes, but I have trouble loading groceries, specific groceries onto items. I think that does it for today. I do feel inspired today to make some changes throughout my lifestyle and eating habits. I gotta go grocery shopping tomorrow and try to manage exercise, diet, and do the routines that I have to do. I already paid rent this month, and I'm gonna pay all my bills on the 3rd when I get money from my payee. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Just a big journey, long story short. Like, you can overcome this when you need some assistance on mental illness or tips on how to live on your own. Usually it takes a while. You have to learn this thing on your own. It's hard, but you can overcome it. But there you have casework to help you with stuff like that. So, thanks for watching, and bye.